now.
We have 3 words for you. Go yourself.
Yeah, you gonna be scared when I snatch that leather wig off your motherfucking head and them suede sideburns.
Ooh, yeah.
No! You did it now, boy! You let that bitch me get away.
And you never paid for drugs. Not once.
You're killing me, Smalls!
Fine.
Bitch.
Calm down! No! Manelli, you're going down!
So, James, unfortunately, you're the only one who ended up watching Leatherface.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Kind of dug it.
Really?
Weirdly. Okay, here's the thing. That movie's 2 movies. The first, fourth of it is trying to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the last fourth of it is trying to explain how Leatherface becomes Leatherface. So it's still technically Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The middle half of that, which doesn't make any sense, but the middle half of that movie is not Texas Chainsaw Massacre at all.
No.
It's a fucking, it should, I mean, mainly it's a fucking weird story about this serial killer couple. And that's actually kind of cool. The stuff completely not related to Texas Chainsaw, actually kind of compelling, but doesn't make any fucking sense for why is this in a Texas Chainsaw? Why? The main character, I'm just going to go on a rant since none of you have anything to say.
I watched
characters,
it. I just didn't rewatch it for this. I watched it recently, so I can chip in a few cents, but I'm really
you could
excited
back
for
me
this
up. You could back me up. You could back me up. The main characters in that movie are supposed to be Leatherface, right?
You would assume, based on the title.
Right.
But we've been duped before.
The whole movie, they're just kind of there until all the wrong things happen and first off, Justin, you already remember this.
Oh yeah. That's why I didn't watch it again.
Yeah. No, it's worth a rewatch. It's worth a rewatch for the middle stuff because there's some fucked up, there's straight up necrophilia.
Oh yeah, so I for sure got to watch it.
You'll dig it. Exactly.
I love that you're like, this is why it's worth rewatching.
This is why it's worth necrophilia is why it's worth rewatching.
This is what won me over on round 2.
Speaking of Letterboxd lists, that's one that we got to get going for James.
Necrophilia. Next week we're doing just the necromantics.
Yeah.
But
Necrophilia Chronicles.
Why did they there's 2 dudes in that movie that are could be Leatherface. And the one that they there's a skinny kind of Hollywood pretty boy type kind of guy, and then the big dumb guy.
Yeah.
And the big dumb guy isn't Leatherface.
Yeah.
What? He doesn't the skinny guy doesn't even
look.
look scary when they put the fucking whatever the fuck on. He's covered in scars because he gets shot in the face. So he's got all these fucked scars and stuff. And by the time they're sewn together, he doesn't even look like he really needs a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, a poor attempt at a gotcha moment.
Yeah.
That's
it.
That's
it's just and what sucks is had they not done that twist, it would have been better. Because at least it would have made sense.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, the middle part's
the big guy get a revenge kill or something. Had the pretty boy actually die, and then it drives
literally
the
just
guy
switched the
insane
places
and
at the
turns him
end,
into
and it would have been
Leatherface.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
It's funny as someone who hasn't seen this movie, I'm so lost at just how dumb this sounds.
yeah. Don't worry,
until you watch it.
It's as dumb as it sounds.
It's got Stephen Dorff in it though, which
it does have Stephen Dorff in it.
Yeah.
He's really good as a fucking evil cop. He's really just a cop,
like
which is funny when you think about Stephen Dorff. He really fits as a cop.
Yeah.
But yeah, the middle.
Yeah, he was good
part,
in True Detective.
Right?
He's
the best part of that season to me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was an all right season, but it's
I mean,
but the middle part of Leatherface is like a weird, like vaguely French extreme movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's from the directors of Inside.
Right. And like you could see that, but then you could also see like, why did you pick them to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah. Right. I think that's kind of how I felt the first time I was watching it. Is I was like, all right, this can't possibly be as bad as people have said. And then halfway through it, I was like, I'm not hating this, but I'm also not enjoying. Like, this isn't what I wanted to watch. Like, I thought I was watching a Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel, but
it's kind of how I feel about 3D and the Netflix movie.
Oh
yeah,
100%.
Feel like
Texas
Chainsaw Massacre movies to me at all.
The funny thing is that having watched, so I watched 3D first, and then I watched them in order. So 3D first, Leatherface, and then the Netflix one. And after watching Leatherface and the Netflix one, I was like, man, 3D is more of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie than any of them.
Yeah.
Not any of them, but these three.
Right, yeah, those three.
Right,
for sure. But that's only in comparison to those last two.
Yes.
Like, like you still go back to it. However, like when I watched 3D last night, that was the first time I had watched it since right before we went on tour. So that was either, I think, at the end of 2012. And like, I enjoyed it for a shitty, gory slasher.
I think what happened was the first time we watched it, like, first off, we prejudged it because we knew it was going to be shit because the trailers were crap. Of
course.
And also, like, we were so much more like elitist to kind of go into it. But like we've watched so much stuff now that's like way worse that going back and watching it now in comparison to some of the shit I've watched, I'm like, this is not terrible. It's not good.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's entertaining.
Great.
Alexander Daddario is great in it. And so, except for those terrible one-liners she has. As a what?
Yes.
As a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
She's younger.
Let's get into this because
she's younger today than her character was supposed to be in 2012.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't even try to make her older.
No,
they just ignored
and they didn't with
the
sheriff
difference.
Department either. They were like, oh yeah, sheriff and this guy were both there too, and that was like 50 years ago.
Well, they never.
I love that aging the sheriff is literally just he's wearing a wig in the 70s and now he's not. He's just bald.
What's in the water there?
Well, I guess they never really do address the year that it's in, right?
Yes, so it is. It's on the grandmother's tombstone. It's 2012.
Oh, okay.
So
what a dumb mistake that is.
I know. So the opening is 1973. She's a baby. Then this movie takes place in 2012, which is 39 years later, but she's 25. So at least her in real life.
Right. And you got like a 65, 70-year-old Leatherface who just flips over a 2,500-pound van.
What nobody mentioned is that she was born on a leap year, so it's only every 4 years that you count.
Okay.
So but if they're implying that she's the same age as her character, then their timeline is off by 14 years.
Right.
That's fucking
substantial.
Nuts. Yeah. That's big.
It's noticeable.
Yeah. And I don't know why, because there's a similar weird time gap or time mix up and age mix up in the Netflix one too. So because in the Netflix one it shows that Leatherface went to that orphanage after the events of the first film,
right? Because
he's in the picture that's up on the wall in the staircase,
which technically means that he's like what 10
16.
years old. He's
like
older.
16.
Right, but he's like
that photo.
But in the Netflix one, he's like 10 years older than he is in the 3D one.
Right. So
Like-
that then, if you apply that retroactively, that means he would have been 16 in the original film.
Yeah.
And that ain't right.
That ain't right.
That's not fucking right.
No, that dude's a fucking at least 25-year-old.
Yeah, he's
mammoth.
Are there any franchises that keep the timeline like pretty accurate?
Friday the 13th is flawless. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like Texas Chainsaw though probably just
Leprechaun,
looked at,
perfect.
just looked at previous entries and were like, the bar is pretty low. Like we don't really need to be. No one's actually calculated because they had no idea that 4 assholes like us would come together and be like, well, technically in the 70s. But I feel like the 2012 issue is just we needed a hot actress who's
and also modern music
that'll get people to go see a movie. And it's like that's the sad state of Hollywood is they're not going to hire a 40-year-old woman to lead a slasher movie that's clearly geared toward fucking like teenagers.
Then just
but they will hire an 80-something-year-old lady to do absolutely fucking nothing in the Netflix one.
That's progress, James. We've made. That's good. So anti-feminist of you to get that mad about it. God,
are you talking about Sally?
Yeah.
Who?
It's crazy. That's the lady from Mandy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she's great.
Northman.
She's great. I like when she shows up.
Northman.
I don't know.
Yeah,
she's a little lower in the casting, but I'm not sure. I don't remember who she was.
Probably like a fucking witch or some shit. Just in the background. Not even, but like when she shows up in the Netflix one, like I was like, yo, she looks like she could whoop some ass.
Yeah, for sure.
And then she does fucking nothing. She misses every shot and gets chainsawed in half.
Yeah. Everybody who shot at him ended up somehow shooting the fucking chainsaw.
Dude,
I say my name. Say my name.
Right. Like, you come into the fucking thing, you have the drop on him, you're aiming a shotgun at his head, and you're like, oh, I guess I better let this dude who fucking murdered all my friends have the just walk out of the room.
Yeah. I've waited 50 years for this, and it does nothing.
Nothing.
Here's the thing about that movie, and I don't know if you guys are going to aggressively disagree with me. They're like,
I might.
Well, like there's so many aspects of it that I just despise as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Right.
There's a lot of things, I don't want to say a lot, but there's things that I like about this movie. Like I think Leatherface was awesome.
I do think that the dude who played Leatherface was pretty good. I don't love the mask because it's just
weird. The mask had some problems.
The mask
like
is
why is he staying on the whole time?
Yeah, like there was what he literally just goes, there's no straps or anything. And then later it looks like it's like Hellraiser's back, kinda.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
The scene of him just popping his head out of the meat. It's so goofy. I think that's the perfect term for it. It just feels goofy.
He does feel in moments. He feels way goofier, and like you said in your fucking in your letterbox thing, the dolphin out of the water move.
Yeah, him jumping out of the water is ridiculous.
Speaking of that, I got to send you guys something I made for you.
Oh, I'm excited.
I
love presents
in our group chat.
Mache.
Shame that everybody watching this will not get to see this. However, you will get to hear it. Now, hold on. I'm going to send the video file to our group chat, but everybody has to hit play at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so don't just start hitting play as soon as it comes through. So, sending. Okay, now it is sent. It's only 5 seconds.
Should I mute my mic? Do we want the mic?
No. Get the mic to pick it up.
Okay.
Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead, play it. Yeah.
Fuck, I lost you guys in my headphones. 1 second.
All right.
Yeah. It's just I can't not see that scene.
Motherfucker.
They call him leather. I don't know those full flipper songs. Sorry.
Yeah, like bro, why'd he jump out of the water like that?
Okay, I'm back.
He's got some fucking hella fucking leg muscles, bro.
how did he jump out of the water like that? I mean, he
That guy's
didn't
a beast,
grab,
dude.
He didn't grab and then thrust himself up. He just out of the fucking water.
He doesn't skip leg day.
Yeah,
it's a shallow pool.
Squat.
It is a shallow pool.
Yeah.
No, because whenever he died,
No.
whenever he grabbed her and then dove into the water, they were down there for a minute.
Yeah, what was that? Why was that there? They're inside a building.
I mean, it's a reoccurring thing in Texas where everything is flooded.
Yeah,
You
which
know?
makes complete sense for Texas.
Except
It's
for
so
3D.
wet in Texas.
It
Except
is.
for 3D, it's a nice clean basement in 3D.
It's true.
Oh,
It's
that
true.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very refined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too clean, honestly. That's my biggest complaint with 3D is how fucking clean and polished everything is. Jesus
Well, it's
Christ.
just a nice big house. Where did that come from?
Right.
Yeah.
And what's
I feel like
weird,
there's a solid 10 minutes that they cut out about like, yeah, we remodeled, they added.
Well, it's a different
Right,
house.
it's a different house. Because
Well,
she
so the hidden kitchen part and then goes to the basement. My mind went to, oh fuck, they like built around the old house. Like, is that what that is? And it's going down to the basement. But I was like, gosh, that
Right.
doesn't look like.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
that would have been better, honestly.
Yeah.
It would have
That's
made
what
more
I thought
sense.
it was.
So
Was it-
apparently the story, and what's weird is that it's one of the plot points in Leatherface, but they completely like skewer it. Cause like Lily Taylor, that's her name, right? Lily Taylor, the mom in Leatherface.
I believe so. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
She was in Conjuring, right?
No, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Didn't watch it.
Yes, I think so.
She was in. Yeah, I think she was the mom in Conjuring.
You didn't watch Conjuring?
No, I watched that. That's one of my favorite movies. I love Conjuring.
But
She
plays.
is, yeah.
Okay, she plays Verna. She plays,
Oh,
Yeah.
that lady.
but all the shit that happens in 3D, it like in the beginning, doesn't happen in Leatherface. So it completely like skews all the timelines together.
Are they supposed to connect?
No,
Yeah, what's
but she was
Leatherface
never
technically a
mentioned
prequel to?
until 3D.
Oh yeah, I guess
So
that's
they
fair.
took,
Oh, that's
they
right.
just grabbed random
elements of
pieces
it.
from
Yeah.
all the shit and just threw them together. And it's like,
Right.
okay, but
Yeah.
she's an
Well, yeah, 'cause
established
what's,
character now.
Yeah.
What's his last name in Leatherface?
Sawyer,
back to
and
Sawyer?
then it's Sawyer, and then it's Sawyer, and then it goes to the one from 3D.
Yeah, because 3D they went back to Sawyer, but his name is
Right.
Jedediah
Right.
Yeah.
instead of Bubba.
So dumb.
Yeah, it's
not
such
that
weird
hard. It's not
decisions.
that hard
Faces.
to. It cannot.
Well, 3D is supposed to
'Cause
be a
they-
direct sequel to the first one, right?
Right,
Like
right.
that was
Yeah.
And I know we're
throwing out
jumping.
anything.
Yeah, I know we're jumping around a lot here, but I will say that the opening credits to 3D, I thought was a really cool idea.
Yeah. Not bad.
To recap the first film and then to bring you right to the aftermath of it. I forgot that's how they started that movie.
Yeah,
And I
that
was like,
cool.
wow, that's really that I like that. I
Yeah.
thought that was a really good attempt.
What's
And
funny is
until-
whenever it started with it, I
Yeah.
was like, this is kind of weak. But then then once it links to the beginning of the movie, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, fine, that's fair.
Yeah, but it's also like it's cool to see Bill Moseley back.
Yeah.
and Gunnar Hansen really
Yeah.
quick. But I had a note where I was like, these family members, these new family members, do not
They
look
don't look-
anywhere near
No.
as fucked up as they should
Right.
be to be a part of that family.
Once again,
But not
this
only
is
that,
one
who
of
are
the
they?
Yeah. Who are the
Yeah,
big, like,
yeah.
obviously Gunner's there, so that's one of them. That's fine.
Well, no, yeah, but
no,
it just,
like in the world.
in the family,
Right,
like,
no,
yeah,
that's
like,
what
with
no,
the
that's what I'm
mechanic,
saying. Is like obviously Gunner's there, so I'll give that one a pass. But like
Oh yeah,
everyone
Right,
else
right.
in that house that's not like obviously one of the members we know.
yeah,
Why are you here?
yeah.
There's a baby.
Why are you
and
why are
there's
you
a-
normal looking motherfucker, like fairly
Yeah.
normal looking Texans?
Yeah,
Just like, oh yeah, cool, I'll hang out with the cannibal family.
Yeah,
Part of the whole thing was that they were isolated, they had no friends.
right. Well, no,
especially that
that's
first one, how
yeah.
fucked up they were. Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're supposed to be the other family members. And
Right.
it's
Oh,
like,
all the ones that weren't talked about by the
Yeah.
very inclusive family. All these movies, like
So is
all
Bill
of these
Moseley
movies, the
Nubbins
family's
then?
like it's about family. Look at all our family. Who the
right,
fuck are these guys?
right.
Yeah.
So is Bill
wait,
Moseley playing Nubbins in that one then?
Who's Nubbins?
Nubbins is
The
the hitchhiker
hitchhiker
in the first
No,
one.
no, because he's dead. because he got ran over by the truck.
Yeah.
And the beginning of 3D takes place right after that.
That's
so
right.
these are just all new members of the family that we have just now been introduced to in the beginning of the 3D
decision.
And it's
That's
like
the
I
weird
can't
thing
help but think of you guys all look normal, and then you're defending these people. We've seen inside that house. That house is fucked up.
It's
You are not normal people.
No.
But your clothes are too clean.
And Bill Moseley's character name was Drayton. Gunnar Hansen was
Oh, he's
boss.
Drayton. Yeah, he plays the barbecue chef.
Okay. So there we go.
Who's that?
The
Jeez,
chef from
I swear to God,
the
I
gas
watched
station
these
guy.
movies.
Yeah.
In what?
He's the chili guy.
I meant to write that down. Yeah.
In what, from what movie?
From the first one, from the second one.
Okay, gotcha.
And the second one. Mainly the
Okay,
second one.
right.
He's the chili guy in the second one.
Right.
He's
I'm
the
just
cook.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is funny because Bill Moseley also in the second one is supposed to be playing Nubbin's twin brother.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
So.
That was very off-putting of just seeing like
what's the opposite of full circle? Just a complete
straight line
cluster. Yeah.
It goes, here's Texas Chainsaw, and then it's a straight line away from Texas Chainsaw.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck that
movie.
movie.
When it after that whole Waco scene that they did, and not too long after, which is exactly what that was.
100%.
Yeah. That's what they were doing. And then you're introduced to her lawyer. I always forget. I don't know how to say that guy's name. Richard, the actor. Riehle.
Oh.
Right? Really?
It's a jump to conclusions.
Yeah, that was my fucking note. I was like, yes, I love that guy.
Wait, that's him? Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
There would be.
I'm a people person, damn it.
What's funny is you bring up
people
me.
You
bring up the hitchhiker, and in Leatherface, because it's all the way back. It's way back to where they're kids, and like there's a fucking kid hitchhiker who looks nothing like the hitchhiker, but has the little like pattern on his face, and it's like all the people in the family in Leatherface are like, you don't look fucked up.
Yeah.
You just look like normal kids and an old guy. And Lily Taylor.
Well, they look normal at the beginning of 3D too.
Yeah.
I get the sense.
So you know what? I kind of wonder if the dudes that made Leatherface pretty much only watched 3D.
3D, maybe.
Because, well, I mean, there's the same studio, right?
Yeah.
So it is.
I think so. Yeah.
I know the Texas rights have jumped around a lot, but I think 3D and Leatherface were close enough to each other that it was the same company that was like, let's do another one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
what were you saying, Derek, about the jump?
Oh, it's just like
guy?
Oh no, that's all I wanted to say about him. But no, I feel the same way as to it almost seems like they didn't watch any of the previous movies.
Yeah,
and it's just so apparent that they're going after a wide audience. Let's go after this, especially the Netflix movie. Like, let's go after Gen Z. Like, this is, and obviously there's the, try something, bro, and you'll get canceled line and shit like that. It's
fucking cringe.
I don't know if that is worse or do your thing cuz is worse.
I think
they're
both
pretty bad.
is worse.
Yeah, I don't mind the canceled bro thing because that dude gets fucking bisected like 5 seconds later for
that
being
whole scene is great.
shit.
The bus is
great. Really good.
Yeah.
I think it's the only massacre we see in this entire franchise.
It's true. That's valid.
Yeah.
No, there's okay. Yes. There's the only Leatherface massacre because for a second there I thought about in Leatherface the couple definitely commits a massacre, but Leatherface isn't involved in it.
Yeah.
Do they do it with chainsaws?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the
it's
only
definitely not a
massacre.
chainsaw massacre.
Yeah, that's
it's just a normal everyday run of the
redeeming quality in the Netflix one. It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that actually has a chainsaw massacre in it, but was filmed in Morocco, I think. So
it's
not in Texas.
Weird.
They filmed it. I want to say the same place that they filmed Rambo 4, or no, Rambo 5.
What?
Yeah, which was supposed to be
Mexico,
the border of
right?
Texas and Mexico.
Right.
And he goes down to Mexico.
Yeah.
I can't remember what country.
And you know what? Just as good as Rambo 5.
Yeah. You know, I remember, you know, there was such a big debate when the Netflix one came out, and everybody's argument for why that movie was good was everybody's taking it too seriously, so just have fun with it. And two, now we have a massacre in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. The name of the movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What more do you fucking want? And I never commented or engaged with that. But now that we have this podcast, I can say it.
No, I feel like this is the time.
Justin's had it bottled up for
what
years.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Give a shit about what movies are being made.
Right.
Give some level of give a shit to some fucking degree. You're talking about a franchise that literally revolutionized and changed not only just horror, but fucking cinema.
Because it was fucking terrifying.
Yeah. And it's what you guys, I know we're all making jokes about the fact that it's a massacre in that movie. And that's the only time that you see Leatherface do an actual massacre with a chainsaw. But the whole Texas Chainsaw Massacre title implies the entirety of their fucking existence.
Yeah.
They've been massacring. They've been massacring long before these movies.
You can see how many massacres there have been in that house. There's a lot of bones.
Exactly. And it's you're just being shown one fucked up moment throughout multiple massacres. Now, I understand the point of what everybody's making, but it just is stupid. It's just fucking dumb.
My sticking point is more on the just have fun. Just stop being so serious. Okay, I understand that most of these movies have sucked and they end up being funny, but that's not the point of the fucking franchise.
I would argue the whole franchise have done. I mean, even Hooper did it in the second one. Mm-hmm. He didn't stick to. He got all fucking goofy,
but
which
it was
I liked.
Still it wasn't. It had humor to it, but it was still serious. To
a degree, for sure.
To a degree, it wasn't a joke a minute. It wasn't immediately as soon as the fucking movie starts, they fuck with a guy who has a gun. Yeah. They talk shit about these 4 fucking teenagers. How the fuck did they buy a city?
And that was Toby doing intentional black comedy because that's what he was trying to do the first time around. Whereas the Netflix one is not supposed to be a black comedy so much. They thought they were making a serious. I think that's what bothered me the most about it, and I gave it 3 stars. I still find it very entertaining. I don't hate the Netflix one, but it just felt
we're gonna go ahead and cut his feed, right?
No, it just felt like the Halloween 2018 success made them be like, we should do this with Texas. Let's get Sally back from the first Texas. And they're like, that actress actually passed away. And cool, we'll just recast her with this woman who kind of looks like her. And it's
and then they did nothing with it.
Her scene, her role must be real fucking pivotal that they felt obligated to recast. They're really going to make this movie about her. And then fuck all.
Yeah. That goes to my point is give a shit about give a fuck about what movies you're making, because not everybody gets to make movies. So if you get a chance to make a fucking movie, give a shit about it.
Yeah.
Or 2, if you're watching it, hold things up to 100%. Some level of a fucking standard.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious they didn't give a shit about the source material in any fucking way.
But when does Netflix ever fucking care?
No, of course not. Of course not. But at the same time, if Netflix did, my logic on it is if they didn't give a fuck about how this movie was written and all the plot holes and the fact that they just completely took Sally's character and just did fuck all with it, and if they didn't give a fuck about that, then I would imagine they wouldn't even know what they were doing even if the script was good. So just write a good script. All they wanted to do was make another TCM movie. That's it. That was the beginning and end of their thought process. Obviously,
I think it's the classic. There's a recognizable name. It's a franchise, and now let's just make it appeal to the masses.
Right. What's frustrating to me,
the younger generation that
of course
probably hasn't seen the original movie, or
but there's a way to do that isn't cringe as fuck and makes you hate
all
of the fucking characters. Like there's for sure a way. Like we've seen movies recently that have good like millennial interaction and shit.
Yeah.
Good fucking whatever generation you want to call it.
Like I thought the last two Scream films did a good job.
They were good.
Of bringing it to like a newer generation of kids.
And like
it really was solid.
These kids and the other thing that I kept seeing was because my complaint was like these kids are fucking insufferable.
Yeah,
like,
well at least they die quick.
Right, and that's the thing.
The two main chicks were great.
I fucking nah.
I thought so.
I thought the curly-haired girl was fucking. She's a terrible person. She does everything that she can to be a complete and total shithead. The entire movie.
I meant as acting. I didn't mean.
No, they did a great job acting. Her character was not.
I didn't mean their morale
likable.
Oh no, I don't. See, that's the thing is I don't really judge actors anymore because like if it's bad acting. I could say like, okay, that's bad acting. It wasn't bad acting. It's bad character development.
I got you.
Bad,
for sure.
character creation and writing.
Yeah, because like, again, they don't give a shit to people.
Right, they don't care, and all they want to do is just make it so that they're relatable. But it's like you guys clearly aren't from that generation because they're not relatable. They're not cool. They're not fun. You don't
does feel
want
like
to
Gen
watch
Z
them.
people written by bitter.
Yes, 100%. And that I think that's why like they're fucking with people that look, man. I know that like the generations past us have more like balls and less sense sometimes, but like, bro, you are in Texas, in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and this dude has a gun on his hip. You're not gonna talk shit about him 2 feet away from him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe people are ignorant or dumb enough that they would. But also, again, it's just a silly attempt. I mean, I get the point. They're trying to establish what kind of people they are and the different world that they come from, and the generational gap. Yeah. But again, it's just I don't know.
But so I guess what I'm getting to, but the point I'm getting to is that so they're annoying as fuck, and that would be fine if Leatherface wasn't smarter than them. The whole movie, Leatherface, other than Richter's fine. I like Richter actually.
Which one was he?
The
contractor.
The contractor guy.
Oh yeah, he was cool.
The gun guy.
He turned out to be a good guy.
I liked him. From the moment he was on screen, I was like, that guy's pretty cool. He's the role that Vigo had, except not Texas Chainsaw. So it works better because that's what I wanted from the Vigo role. But other than Richter, everyone else in that movie is not as smart as Leatherface. There's not a final girl.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're kind of.
They both die because her fucking car was definitely like.
Well, they didn't show it, but
exactly, they don't show it. I'm pretty sure that Leatherface could catch up to that car.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah,
I was under the impression she did survive that. But I mean that.
Well, she just crashed.
Yeah, I thought it was
which then gives Leatherface time to get to her.
Well, I don't know if it would crash. It was turning like it's those self-driving.
Nobody's. Was it a self-driving?
Yeah. They activated a self-guided.
They flipped it a self-guide. So yeah, she. Gotcha. So I mean, she'll probably still die, but that's just because that's what Teslas do. Like it's not going to be Leatherface.
Leatherface is Elon Musk.
She survived Leatherface and then the gas pedal.
No one survives Elon Musk.
But I thought they were just trying to recreate the modern version of the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
One girl is left screaming and freaking out in a car that she's not driving while Leatherface dances in the street with his chainsaw.
I guess it just works better when it's actually a truck driven by people and not just a random shot of her sticking out of a sunroof screaming to credits. Like, even if it showed the car drive out of the town with her still like out of the top, I'd be like, all right, fair.
But I think you had a good point of Leatherface really did seem like the smartest character in the whole movie.
Yeah,
especially whenever they go into like the garage area where he had enough thought to put the chainsaw in a different room.
Yeah.
So that way
he's got fucking tactics.
He uses tactics, which is something
a bit much.
We've never seen him do that before.
He's supposed to be dumb as fuck.
And
like that.
Also,
was
he hides behind the door.
Oh yeah.
You have a chainsaw. Just run at him and chainsaw him.
But I as much as we're shitting all over this movie, again, I did like Leatherface, and I really liked a lot of the kills. Some of these kills were fucking awesome.
The kills and the gore were
Yeah.
great. I have no problem
Like
with
to me,
that.
that's the biggest redeeming quality. Where like that first kill in particular with the fucking cop in the back of the van breaks his arm, stabs him with a fucking bone. Like that was
the arm break is a bit sudden. It's a bit too quick,
and very easily broken too. Like there's no leverage to do it.
Yeah. And I'm not even like I don't even want it to be a different like move. I just want it to be like crack, not crack.
Yeah.
Just like
well, he did it with one arm. If he would have took his other arm and like did
something,
right? Yeah.
But it was that aside.
But the fact
kill
that
was
he then took
amazing.
the bone and stabbed him in the neck,
right?
Yes,
great.
That was
Love
dope.
that.
That was
It was
cool.
badass.
I love that.
And then
for
to
him.
me, I was like, "Oh fuck! Like, why do people not like this movie? This is about to be, fucking amazing."
Yeah, it starts off strong.
It really does. But I did enjoy it. Like I was entertained throughout the movie while I was nitpicking throughout it at the same time, simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing for 3D, where I was like I'm actually enjoying the movie. It's just a shitty Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of
exactly.
the continuity issues and because of it just who the fuck are these people? What the fuck is this house? Why is Leatherface living in this fucking abandoned town? Like how did he get there?
Well, because he was in the orphanage.
Yeah, it was an orphanage.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that lady,
Well,
like,
that's what
took
I
him
was saying.
in.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in the picture on the staircase.
Right.
was from 1970. I can't remember if they had a date on it, but it's supposed to be right after the first film. And you see him in that photo, and he's a kid.
Yeah,
and it's like, what the fuck? Like he was a grown ass man in the first film.
right.
And
But so is that the story we're supposed to believe is orphanage? Then the first movie happens.
No. First movie happens, then the orphanage.
Then orphanage. Okay.
Because it's like he left. He was like abandoned, or his family died, or whatever, and then he just goes to the orphanage.
Hold on. So wait, he's a kid in the picture in the orphanage. Is that his picture? That's just a picture that he has, or it's on the orphanage wall?
It's on the orphanage wall. It's framed.
Why?
It's of all the kids at the orphanage.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, isn't he the one that's like tall and above everybody?
But they show, like, zoom in. He's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, that's what doesn't make sense to me. Is like,
of course.
What? No, I know, but I'm saying like, no, even more than that. Where did the orphanage get that picture from?
They took it. It's at that.
Oh, right.
Is the orphanage.
It's not the family. Right.
Yeah. So, like, and unless if I'm completely misunderstanding it, and then he's at an orphanage, and then what? He just goes back home, and then he comes back to the orphanage later.
No. I think that what they're trying to say is that I don't think he was a kid in that picture. I think he's taller than everybody. He's in the back.
They clearly show him he is a teenager. Straight up, he's a fucking teenager.
Oh,
like I paused the first time I watched it. I paused and got into my TV and just screamed because I was like, "How is nobody else noticing this?"
Yeah,
yeah. It's if
so
I
is the idea then? So the first movie happens, family dies, he goes to the orphanage, and he's been at that orphanage now for 50 years,
the whole time.
Like,
that's
so he hasn't been
said.
massacring. I'm assuming
that's no massacre according to her.
Right. Yeah.
Dustin just left.
It's like, just fucking over this.
I've been holding this in for 2 years to complain about this movie.
Dude.
But yeah, like
this is why we started the podcast.
Yeah, just to get to this one particular movie. But it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. At what point does a franchise throw in the towel? Have we seen franchises throw like does Texas Chainsaw Massacre come out with another movie at some point?
100%.
Just keep capitalizing. Yeah. Just keep milking it.
None of these franchises at this point. None of these franchises are going to die because if they survived through the end of the 90s and 2000s, and then they made new movies because they were definitely dead. All of them were fucking done for a minute there. Yeah, and like that's never going to end now. Because now, because the next thing that they're going to do is they're going to remake Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but they're going to place it in like the 80s or some shit to get rid of all these fucking time problems, I bet. And like, because now all of these movies are so established that they sell tickets regardless of if it's a good movie. So
yeah.
I wonder because Texas Chainsaw 3D and the Netflix one, and the other one. So the reboot, and then the beginning was technically the prequel to the reboot, and then 3D is a requel.
Right.
And then the one on Netflix is also a requel. So we've had multiple direct sequels to the original.
Yeah.
But 2003 was the only just straight reboot. And I wonder if we're going to go into, because we've gone through our requel era where Candyman got one and even Leprechaun got one. And so eventually it will go back into a reboot thing because IP is still what all the studios fucking want is pre-established IP. So there's got to be another Texas Chainsaw movie.
I mean, and they're all still even non-franchise movies. They're still going through any IP that they have. So it's just
dude.
It's
Well, the whole
end.
point of making this, the whole idea of what they wanted to do is like, this is not the last Netflix one that they're making. They want to make this into a series.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the stinger of him walking back. So let us know that they're got future
there's
plans.
one after the credits?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
God.
I skipped the credits on this one.
It'd be funny if they do just keep the timeline. It's like 2035.
Honestly, that would at least be hilarious.
Leatherface is like 80 something years old.
Dude, if they somehow, I would hate this, but also I'd kind of love it. If they somehow are like, all right, guys, Leatherface is immortal now.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
well, just kind of what it seems like.
At this
Might as
point,
well,
yeah.
Just go
they
full.
made him,
I know what you did last summer with.
He found a jewel in the middle of Texas. He found the heart of Texas.
Yeah, yeah, because they
feels like that's what they do with the. Because that's what they did with Halloween. Is every once in a while they're like, actually, let's throw some supernatural shit.
Yeah,
Michael's not just a crazy guy who killed his sister. He's pure evil. He can't die. That's why he shot him 6 times, and then he lost his eyes, and then he walked away, and everything was fine.
It's kind of what they did with the Netflix one. Like they never come out and flat out say it, or it's not as blatant, but it kind of seems that way.
The Netflix one also made Sally immortal, though, too.
Yeah.
If she got fucking hoisted in the air and chainsawed for
dead.
3 to 5 minutes and then thrown into a pile of garbage. And then a few minutes later, she still gets a shot off. I'm like, what the fuck?
And then reloads the shotgun and gives it to her.
Dude, it felt like a good 9 minutes later. They should have bled out when she
should have bled out multiple times. Yeah.
Not to mention your spine completely just
non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of pure evil, there's a shot. Actually, I'll wait till Justin gets back in. So speaking of pure evil, there's a moment in Leatherface where they break out of a insane asylum, and the big guy Bud, he takes the insane asylum. Of course, it's a dickhead insane asylum doctor.
That's also a great big guy name.
Yeah, it's also a great
Bud.
Yeah, Bud.
Yeah, to make you think. Oh,
wait a minute, I'm starting to put things together, Derek. This motherfucker calls everybody Bud. He just thinks we're all huge.
It's just a Canadian thing.
Yeah, You just think we're all huge. But so he revenge kill. Obviously, he takes and smashes the fucking doctor's head against this window, which is reinforced window, even in the 50s somehow, and then smashes his head through it. He's super dead, crushes his neck on the fucking glass. Dorf comes in afterwards, and he's looking at the crime scene. He's like, "Yep, this is pure evil. I've done seen it before." It's like, it's just a dude who had his head smashed through a window. How are you getting that much information from it? Like, how do you know that this is in an insane asylum? You don't know who did this. Like, what?
Yeah.
Dorf's fucking ability to spot pure evil is impeccable.
I was looking at the photo that Justin just sent us.
Yeah. So that's 1975.
I do like that children laughing faintly is still in there.
Yeah.
the caption too.
Yeah. So that photo is from 1975, and that's
kid in that yellow sleeveless shirt is bigger than him.
Yeah.
I sure wish I could fucking look at the picture. Facebook won't let me see it.
Just pull it up on your phone. Oh, that's right. You don't have Messenger on your phone, do you? Wait.
I don't need it. I can pull it up on the thing.
Yeah. So, at the bottom, that's 1975. So that's Was the first movie in 73 or 74?
74.
74. So that's a year later.
Yeah.
That's not the same Leatherface as the original film.
Not even close.
Not even fucking close.
I didn't, because remembering it, they were closer together, and it was just like he was above everybody. I didn't see his whole body.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just.
Are they trying? Maybe they're trying to do a visual thing where, like, oh, he's above. He's like, they put him on the top step so he looks like he's bigger than everybody.
Maybe I just thought that.
No, I think it's still dumb. I'm just saying, like, they may have tried
one, so they put him in the back.
Yeah.
Oh
no, I don't mean picture logic. I mean movie logic, making movie logic.
Gotcha.
Like, if we put him on the back step, then he does look like he's bigger than all the kids, but we don't have to actually cast somebody who's big.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, it actually just looks like a kid standing on a back step.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they only show it for like 2 seconds, so it's like, all right, well,
yeah. So jumping back to 3D, there were 3 moments that really made me laugh. One of which was when her attorney tells her, honey, you were never lost. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
Yeah. 100%.
She was 100%
super
lost.
Super lost.
She, like, they stole her.
Yeah.
Well,
he's saying that Verna, once she got money, she hired private detectives to find her.
Yeah, but did her lawyer know that? Or did he only find that out whenever?
Because she told him that.
Well, yeah, at the end, maybe.
No. Verna told him everything. They were friends.
Well, she was still fucking lost. I don't buy it.
Yeah, 100%. She was definitely lost.
Yeah. The other part, the other couple things were when Nikki, the friend, gets attacked by Leatherface.
Horrible friend.
Horrible friend. I really wish that there was a moment, not to like make her suffering even more, but I really wish that there was a moment where she found out that her boyfriend and her
got
friend
off real easy.
Yeah.
Trey
I kind of feel like didn't they come running out of the barn like half naked and she just kind of ignored it?
It was never addressed
because she was in the middle of getting chased and shit too,
right?
Trying to save them, and then it just escalated from there. So they never addressed it again.
I feel like it's one of those things where, like, I think there may have been a look from her that was like,
no, there wasn't. I was looking. There was nothing. But
maybe she
just watched every minute of this movie, you guys.
Yeah, I did.
And I watched every minute of
with
it
a fucking magnifying glass.
But she's in a barn. Leatherface is on the other side of the door.
Mm-hmm.
She has a gun, and she says, "Welcome to Texas, motherfucker," and she fires. She says, "Welcome to Texas, motherfucker," to Leatherface, who is a fucking Texan, who has lived in Texas his entire life
and
has never left the state.
She's from like Chicago or some shit. She's not from Texas.
She's from Texas.
And
this
like
is her first time in Texas.
Whenever we first had this conversation, I was like, oh, because I thought you were talking about Diodario, and I was like, oh, well, at least she has Texas blood in her. No, this chick has no Texas blood in her.
None.
She has no basis to say welcome to Texas. You're not from Texas.
Yeah. Especially to somebody who's already in Texas.
If anything, it should have been welcome to Texas from Leatherface.
From Leatherface.
Yeah.
He needs to say that.
Yeah.
First thing he says in the whole franchise.
Yeah. Welcome to
I'd
Texas.
be okay with that. Honestly, if it was if you could only barely understand him, that'd be funny. I'd be all right with that.
It would have made more sense. But that was such a lazy writing with the characters. Just like, let's just get a super hot chick and like here the intern Derek like write her storyline, and I'll be like, oh okay, like fucking she cheats on whatever.
Yeah.
It's just so lazy and
welcome to Texas, motherfucker.
If we're going over bad lines, this is now the time that we're going to talk about do your thing, cuz.
Oh, it's the worst.
Okay, first off. Worst. Cannot
be worst.
The worst.
It's up there with Paul Walker's "Cuh."
Oh, bro. Yeah. Dude, yeah. Now I'm in your face.
No, that one's worse.
Now I'm wearing your face.
Paul Walker's is worse.
Yeah.
You can't top that.
I don't know, man. Do your thing. Here's the thing. It's a one-liner for a chainsaw, which you can't do one-liners with a chainsaw because when the chainsaw's running, you can't hear it. When the chainsaw's not running, if you do a one-liner, do your thing, cuz you then have to pick up the chainsaw and start it. The one-liners run out. Your one-liner window has run out. So,
Yeah.
and then, like, no, in no way is it more fucking evidenced by the fact that she goes, do your thing, cuz, throws him the chainsaw, and then has to distract the guy for him to start the chainsaw.
Yeah. That kill is pretty good, though.
It's a good kill.
I always like watching people get killed by whatever those fucking machines are. The grinder things.
Meat grinder.
Yeah.
I do wish it wasn't as CGI. I feel like that was my issue is as I was, because this is the first time I've watched this movie since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember back in 2012, Do Your Thing, cuz I was like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I just drank so much to like forget it. And then swore I was never going to watch it again and just ignored it.
Until we came
And then I was
along.
watching it this past weekend and like halfway through it, I'm like, fuck, I'm actually like enjoying this movie quite a bit. Like I don't think it's as bad as I remember. And like you said, it was that like elitist, like you already knew it was going to suck because you're like 3D modern take bullshit. Like you can't beat Toby Hooper or whatever. But yeah, rewatching it, I was like, this is kind of fun. Like the gore was good. The kills were good. But yeah, that meat grinder scene, I was like, man, if this wasn't so animated, this would have been one of the sickest.
I think one of the differences, because I was thinking about that, because I had the exact same experience as you. But when I started to, because there's another scene where, you know, they rammed the van into the gate trying to escape Leatherface.
Oh yeah.
Dude, and it just stops.
Hold on. Yeah. And then they back up and he's struggling to start the car. He's struggling to start it. And then Leatherface attacks it. And then they go. The next shot, the gate is open.
Yeah.
Like it's wide open. And I'm like, how'd that happen? The gate just stopped them. How, now it's open? Like, what the fuck is going on?
And not just like stopped them a little bit, like bounced the fucking van off of it.
Yeah. And then I'll get to that light in a minute. But moments like that, I noticed so many things like that in this one where I immediately was like, okay, I don't have to try and take this movie seriously.
No.
You know, coming from the remake and the beginning, which are very fucking serious, to this movie, it's like, okay, I can suspend all my give a shit with this and at least have fun with it. Whereas I know a lot of people would rebut that and say, well, that's what you should do with the new one. But with the Netflix one. But the Netflix one felt as if they were trying to make a serious movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the marketing, the promotion, the way it's set up, it feels like they were trying to make a serious movie again. So the tone and like the approach to it, like they're two totally different ways. It's like 3D is an example of how to make a really bad but fun, shitty movie.
Yeah. And the Netflix one, there's no time, and 3D also suffers from this a little bit, but like it's just a modern filmmaking thing of like there's no time for tension to build.
No.
There's no time for there to be like spooky, like, oh shit, what's going on? And like it's all just like, here's the story, here's the thing, all right, let's go. Now they're killing people. And it's like
it's fast paced. There's no it's more of an action movie than it is a fucking
and like
horror.
Part of Texas Chainsaw to me is Texas. And like the long shots that establish like you're fucked, there's no one here. There's no one here anywhere. And like none of that, like in 3D, like there's people and there's a town like right down the road.
Oh, there's a fucking carnival.
There's a whole carnival.
Yeah, there's a carnival. There's a carnival in the backyard.
Yeets his chainsaw at you in 3D.
You know what? So the carnival thing was the only thing that I remembered, and I completely misremembered it. But like I remember because it just struck me so as like, oh, clearly this is Freddy's dad. They ripped off Freddy's dad and put a carnival here. And like rewatching it, I was like, it's alright. It's kind of fun watching Leatherface run through a carnival.
Yeah, for sure.
He doesn't really kill anybody though.
No. But it's funny how like secluded the Sawyer house is supposed to be and how it feels, and then they just walk to a carnival. It's like a population 2,000 and like 200 or
it's
whatever.
A pretty big carnival for a small town too.
Yeah, not just that, but I loved also when they're driving into the town and the cop says this town ain't much, but we take care of our own here. It's like, the fuck you do, man. Like, fucking family of cannibals here for the last 4 decades.
Doing a bang up job.
The other part of 3D that I thought was really funny is when she's in the police station, and she's reading through the files, and she pulls out the newspaper, and it has Sally's picture, and the sentence, "He chainsawed my paraplegic brother."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the most ridiculous sentences I've ever read in my fucking life.
Like when you brought that up, I was thinking about it, and that the way that it's laid out, it's like one left alive or last one alive or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that line, which means that directly above it is her picture. So it's just a tribute. Like, it's like, I'm the girl who said he chainsawed my paraplegic brother.
Yeah. It's like, why do you got to throw the paraplegic part in there, man?
Yeah.
It's just saying
he chainsawed my brother.
Yeah. You're just adding insult to injury.
Or he killed all my friends.
Yeah.
He massacred all my friends even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. I think my favorite line of hers was when she starts to turn in the car and she's like, "I'm a Sawyer." I was like, oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I was like watching that or Eastwood or whatever, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous. But crazy Daddario's kind of hot. I don't know. I don't mind this one now.
Yeah, like they did her. Like she's a good actress, and I think that she's
awesome.
She definitely has a presence. But like, man, they did not utilize her. They could have given her so many like good lines, and they just didn't.
Yeah. But you know what you were saying a minute ago, James, of how the tension. I think that's a really good point, because like when you look back at the original, where I always go back to the opening, because the opening is like one of my favorite openings to any horror movie, where it's just the radio or like the information playing, and then all it is just a slow pan around this fucked up totem pole of a body. You don't know what the fuck it is. You don't know where well, you know where you're at. You're in Texas, but you don't know where
you know where you're at. You're in Texas.
Yeah. But you have no context of anything. And then it does not give you the answer.
Yeah.
You can guess, but I'm sure when you first watch that movie, especially for people back then, it's like, what the fuck has got to be going through their heads?
They have no
idea what's going on.
You have no idea where this movie is going. All you know is it's called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So you assume there's going to be some chainsaws in it. But you just see this thing, and the only thing that you have is, well, this can't be good.
Right. And then it leaves you with it.
Yeah.
For the next like 20, 30 minutes before Leatherface shows up.
Yeah, dude, you're just sitting there thinking about this gore totem while you're in the fucking car with these fucking kids, and you're like, what?
Yeah. And it's like you almost kind of forget about it because you're watching the film, and then whenever shit starts, you're like, oh fuck, they're the ones who went back and did that and made that. It's like like those types of like, it's not a bait and switch, but those types of like baiting you through the things and allowing the tension to build throughout it, and not spoon feeding you gore or spoon feeding you these moments in these kind of movies. Like I don't know, you just don't see that very often anymore.
I definitely think that these three, the focus in all of them is more on the kills and the gore than it is on any other aspect of it. And that's weirdly why it falls apart, I think, because obviously the special effects people are the ones that are in charge of most of that stuff. So like, it's not really taking away from the filmmakers, but it almost feels like because you couldn't lean on all the gore and stuff and all that shit in most of the other ones, you had to be more creative with the actual movie. And now you don't, because you could just show them chainsawing a whole busload of people, which is great.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
I want my whole movie.
I want my Chainsaw Bus Massacre to feel earned.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Also, speaking of earned, one thing is for fucking sure, that girl did not earn that fucking slow motion chainsaw shot to his head.
The
curly-headed girl, she did nothing of worth the entire movie, and she's just like, it's like, what? Like, why you? I kind of wanted the other girl to get it.
Back to but talking about the dread or the just building up that tension and that spookiness. I think the problem is these remakes, like I'm sorry if you can hear them fucking street racing outside my apartment right now.
No, you're good,
bruh.
Yeah, this is great timing. I think one of the issues there is also
now I'm in your podcast.
These classics are so good because of the eye and the skill and the talent of the director that made them. And then when they do these reboots and these requels, they are just focused on like, let's cast somebody who's big enough to play Leatherface and let's get some cool kills and gore in there. And then we'll hire a cheap fucking director who has no experience or limited experience. Like the guy who directed the Netflix one had directed one other movie and was a cinematographer for like YouTube. And then the guy who directed Texas Chainsaw 3D had only directed like 2 straight to DVD action movies before that.
Yeah.
And it's like, these guys don't know.
And then Leatherface is by the guys who did Inside.
Then that's what's crazy is how Leatherface doesn't work better because they did get some crazy talented like directors with a good eye. But I wonder if that was also studio interference.
Well, but I don't know. I read some interviews with them and they definitely seemed like they could give a shit less about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Because they were very like, oh yeah, we didn't really like any of the stuff. So we took what we liked and we made it a movie. And it's like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so they just didn't. Yeah, that is strange. But I think that's part of the reason why these fail in that is because you see movies like Longlegs where Oz Perkins clearly has an eye for, I'm going to set the tone here. I'm going to film from this angle. I'm going to have this like aspect ratio. You're going to see this in the frame and you're not even going to realize that having this in the frame is what's making you that much more uncomfortable.
Okay.
And that much more like it's such a simple, she's just going to see who's at the door. And the guy who directed Texas Chainsaw just have somebody walk down the hallway and check the door. And you're like, maybe it's Leatherface. But the way like Perkins or something like that, you're like, it's not just the door. What's in the kitchen? What the fuck is happening over there? Why are we slowly on here? What are you doing? And they don't get directors to do these reboots.
That's what I loved about the first Strangers movie is it has all that stuff where you're watching it constantly and you're like, there's shit going on in the background. There's like shit, little tiny things that are just like, even if there's not anything going on in the background, the fact that it's on that shot for so long makes you think that there's something there.
Right.
That's
Yeah, and that's what we had in the original Texas Chainsaw. Is Toby just had this weird eye for just like creepy, moody shit where you're just like it makes you very uncomfortable, and they don't make them like they used to.
No.
Well, I know with the Netflix one because Fede Alvarez, he was the one who produced it.
Yeah, he co-wrote it and produced it.
Yeah, and
would have been better if he directed it.
I know. I don't know why he didn't.
He was doing Alien, I think.
No. Well,
or no, Don't Breathe 2.
No,
Don't
probably
Breathe what he was working on at the time.
Yeah, should have done the Texas Chainsaw instead.
Yeah, instead of turning that guy into a fucking hero.
Yeah, maybe we don't redeem the rapist.
Yeah, that was
stupid.
What a fucking choice.
But anyway, so you mentioned the director of that movie. They called him out of the blue, and he had like a day to get ready, fly out, and immediately start directing.
There you go.
So it's like I think the longer that we go on, not to get like into a business talk, but the longer that we go on and watch streaming services start to make these movies, you can start to see that now it's I know the movie business has always been a business, but now exactly like what you described, Josh, let's take this IP, let's get somebody really fucking cheap, and then let's just hit these marks, make it, put it out.
There's no big picture to it. It's about speed. It's about like, we got to crank them out. We got to get this out because we need something that's profitable. We need something that's profitable. And it's like,
you got an infinite amount of choices to watch. So it's all right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix. Okay. Like a million plus people are going to be like, let's watch this. As,
they don't necessarily need to do that unless they want to. And it's like, well, fucking man, just want to. Like just
convenience is the death of creativity, apparently.
It's like just make a simple decision to go, okay, well, maybe I should give a shit. Like just increase your give a shit level. 40 more %. And at least it would be a little bit better.
Well, and I think that's how you had mentioned earlier, like the last 2 Scream movies did a really great job of writing characters of that generation acting in a likable way. And I think that also is an example of a writer-director team who clearly loved the Scream franchise and was like, we understand the appeal. Like, it's a whodunit. It's got some good kills. It's got these likable characters. It's got this final girl. Like, we're going to do as best we can to keep up with what Wes Craven created and keep it meta and also kind of put our own little twist on it without being disrespectful to it. And that's the only franchise that has successfully done that, it seems.
Let's go back to fucking the reboot and beginning. Nispel fucking loved and respected. Now he didn't do the beginning, but
they didn't do,
it was off of it, so it's different.
Yeah,
but like he loved Texas Chainsaw so much that he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And like clearly that's the level of fucking like respect you have to have for it, I guess.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people have issues with the remake and the beginning too, but I refuse to believe that anybody would look at the last 3 movies that we just watched and then compare those to the remake in the beginning and say that any of these are actually better. Well, I don't understand.
And here's the thing is like everybody always like I've always heard so much hate for the fucking actors and the kids in the remake, but like I don't know, man. I think they're way more likable than the kids in the Netflix one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I was like, man.
At least they have a story.
Yeah, at least they have a story.
You know? Like
at least they like each other.
The moment in the remake when Leatherface is going through the dude's stuff and he finds the engagement ring, and then you stop and you think, and that really hits you hard because of the conversation that they had earlier in the film of like where she's like, you know, hey, are you ever going to get me a ring? And he's like, yeah, I'll get you a ring one day. And it's like, fuck, he had it.
Yeah, he was planning it. It was going to be at the concert. They were going to see Aerosmith or whoever, and he was going to propose.
That's Dazed and Confused. They were going to go see Skinner.
Skinner. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Skinner.
How fucking dare.
Holy shit. I almost fucked up.
It's those little moments that, you know, that you could just add in that, like, they just expand on those types of things. So
as opposed to a group of kids who somehow convinced a fucking bank, I guess, to give them enough money to buy a ghost town.
Well, were they still had they already bought it? Or were they...
Okay, here's the thing: the weirdos in the Netflix one, the Texans in the Netflix one, are way better. I will give it that.
Who?
The fucking gas station attendant guy.
Oh,
that guy looked like a Texas Chainsaw character.
Yeah, for sure.
Sally looks like it, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The old lady looks like it. The not Viggo Mortensen guy, Richter, he kind of looks like it. He's the attractive one in town, obviously. But like at least they all look like they belong in Texas.
Yeah.
But anyways,
3D, that wasn't the case at all.
Yeah, 3D didn't even look like it was Texas.
No.
Yeah.
It looked like Louisiana.
Yes, 100%.
Not even Texas. It's rural Texas with a population of 2,000. Like that has a certain aesthetic. There's a certain
windswept plains of desert.
There's no downtowns.
No.
There's downtowns in Amarillo and like
Austin.
What's that one fucking place where one of that old rockabilly guy is from? We had like one show there, and I like ripped my toe open. I remember that sucked.
What a very specific story.
Touring is real specific.
Yeah, it was weird.
San Antonio?
My dumbass was no. My dumbass was trying to load fucking guitar cabinets and flip flops in Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock. That would happen in Lubbock.
Yeah,
it was
such a Lubbock story.
Would. Yeah, I remember cleaning my foot in the sink of a really shitty bar, and I'm like looking around, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking get some kind of disease in this place. Like, this is not what I should be doing right now.
Are you up to date on your tetanus
now?
yeah, that's a tetanus. I was like, I'm gonna get tetanus from this bathroom. But yeah, like there's no downtowns in West Texas.
No,
like the downtowns of the towns that you go through are literally like dilapidated buildings.
Yeah.
Like they're just completely fucked. Like they haven't been inhabited for 100 fucking years. Like they're falling over. Awful.
So, okay, hold on. Let's go back to this buying a town thing.
Yeah.
Because it really is it's one of the biggest sticking points for me. Is like, what? Like, what's the logic here?
Well, did they actually buy it, or were those people investors? Because I could have sworn I heard him say something about investors.
Okay,
Yeah,
but what are they investing in if no one owns it?
They were basically going to turn that town into like a Gen Z haven, and they were going to like comic book shop, and they were just going to
in the middle of nowhere, Texas, which totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Like what did she say? Like 7 hours away from anywhere, or some shit like that.
Yeah, from Austin.
7 hours from Austin. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Where would that even put you?
Texas is so fucking
like
big.
it is
Maitland,
like Maitland, Texas area, like somewhere in between there and Lubbock and Amarillo, which is
Austin's pretty central, isn't it? You could go
it's south
it's
central.
more towards the Austin is where
Austin,
like you just said,
Austin,
Texas is so fucking massive that like now you guys can't even see that.
Harlow.
That sucks.
Is Harlow a real town? That'd be fun.
Yeah, a small community just west of 34.
Austin is
4 miles south of Greenville.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Closer to the east of Texas. And then you have like 5 other states that you can fit in West Texas.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they were just like, here's this idea bank. I can't get over it because it's like they're just kids.
Bought it for cheap. Yeah, they bought it for cheap.
None of them look old enough to have enough money to do this venture.
Well, it's not their money, right? They're getting investors.
Yeah, they're looking for investors.
Okay, none of them look old enough for the bank to take them seriously.
Hold on, were the people in the bus the investors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because why else would they have been there?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so all of those 20-year-olds were going to invest and buy.
This is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it says young entrepreneurs,
very young,
traveling to the abandoned Texas town of Harlow to auction off the old properties and create a trendy, heavily gentrified area. So they thought they were going to create like a new Gen Z haven,
right?
For all the liberals to like flock to, and it's going to be in Texas, and maybe they can swing Texas blue. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's probably.
Well, I mean, however, like when you really stop to think about it, like I don't know, man. I guess I think what they were trying to get across is like there's people of that age right now that are making insane cash on TikTok and streaming and doing all these things. So I think that's what they want. That's what they were trying to convey. That these people have money because of their social media followings. Yeah. That's why they were live streaming everything.
I think that, I think you're right. They were conveying that. And also like, look, they're trying to be, right. They're quote unquote woke, and there's all the wokeisms and all that's going on. But then you turn to, you find out that they're actually pieces of shit where like, they don't have the deed to the property.
Yeah.
She dies. He's like, it's not our fucking fault. And it's like, oh, okay. Like you guys are fucking assholes. Like you're not.
You don't actually care about other people.
Yeah. And they're just like entitled, young, rich
dickheads,
rich
rats.
assholes.
Yeah.
Did you guys do your rankings?
I could probably easily just.
Oh yeah, because this is the end of the franchise.
This is the end.
Yeah. I got mine because I come prepared.
Yeah, I think I can say them without even.
I think I did mine because I had to add the only ones I hadn't seen were Leatherface, the third one, and I didn't remember enough about the beginning to add that, so I had to add those to I already had an existing ranking list, and I think mine's
the beginning is at
updated.
Number at least within the top 3 of yours, Derek. I swear.
I swear to fucking Christ.
We're gonna reopen up that can of worms, dude.
Well, top 3 for me, it's 1, 2, 4.
Fucking hell.
Right?
Okay, if it's number 4, then maybe I'll let it.
I like you're asking us right
as though the return.
Wait,
is that
the
right?
Return?
It's the return.
The
4
return.
Is the return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Or that's how I was
Wait,
titled.
what?
Next Generation.
It's
Next
Next
Generation.
Sorry.
Right,
That's the
originally
other-
it was originally, yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, so that for me, it's I'll just go by number 1, 2, 4.
Hold on. So number 1, and then number 2, and then Next Generation.
Next Generation.
Okay, that's not a bad top 3.
And then the where am I at? The Jessica Biel one. Is that the
fucking lost me.
So
mad right now. I'm so mad right now, dude. Nah, keep going.
All right, so I'm going, which would be 5.
That dog shit, I guess.
Technically, that'd be
remake.
That would be 5.
Yeah. So that's a remake.
Yeah. So I'll go 1, 2, 4, 5, which is the remake.
Yeah.
Then I'll go beginning.
All right. Whatever.
Then I go 3. Then I go 3D.
Yeah.
Then I go Netflix.
Yeah.
And Leatherface, I don't know where to put Leatherface. I
That's
That's the other one.
yeah.
You'll know exactly where to put it once you watch it.
Yeah.
It's definitely the least Texas Chainsaw Massacre out of all of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even though it weirdly is also more Texas Chainsaw than some of them, but like it's like slant Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it's not any parts of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that
it's like TCM by association.
Yeah.
In certain elements.
Yeah.
It's weird. Out of all these franchises, this is the one where I crave quality and don't get it.
Yes.
Well, 100%.
Yeah.
Like fucking
Jason,
Jason, I'm not craving quality.
No.
Yeah,
like,
if a Jason
give
movie's
me-
stupid, I'm fine with it as long as like the kills are good and he looks cool. But like, if it's goofy and shit, it's like, yeah, it's Friday the 13th. But Texas Chainsaw isn't, which is weird because Friday the 13th starts out very serious. The first like 3 movies aren't really like goofy.
No.
But
I think it's because the rest of the franchise blew up to such a degree where we grew up with, we went to Manhattan.
Yeah,
or,
we had the goofy ones on US.
It was when they resurrected him and made it a comedy and Jason Lives. That's the Jason we know and love, and that's what we kind of like glommed
That's a
onto.
generational thing for sure.
Yeah. So then it's like you go back and apply that to the first 3 films where you don't, you're just watching it for fun. You don't care if it's stupid or if it has, plot holes or anything. But this one, same thing with Halloween. Halloween and the original TCM, like they came out and crushed. In their own way, like nobody else had ever done before.
Right.
So like I can't, like the first TCM is horrifying. It's a horrifying film. So when you start with that as like as your foundation, like anything that comes after that you don't at least apply some level of like give a shit, I think it becomes so much more apparent, and then it just is like, well, what the fuck am I even watching?
Yeah. Well, that's where like Leprechaun, it's like, like we knew what you're getting from the get-go, and you're in for a dumb ride and just enjoy it.
Leprechaun,
which makes me want to.
We're upset when Leprechaun isn't funny.
Yeah, they tried to make a serious Leprechaun movie, and it was
fucking terrible.
Absolute dog shit. I'm like,
well, that's what makes me really want to dive into the Anaconda franchise. I think I'll.
Well, no, that's why we got to do. I Know What You Did Last Summer, because it was 2 fucking bangers, and then the third one.
I cannot stand
what's the name?
first one.
I couldn't.
The first one.
Yeah, dude, they're all
that.
Once again irredeemable characters. All of them are absolute scumbags for doing that.
So
like, no, fuck that
Love
shit.
Love Hewitt's got some remorse, dude. She's got some guilt.
Not in the fucking moment.
So now we're talking about that. So it's I Know What You Did Last Summer. I still know what you did last summer. And I
which is great.
Watched these.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I watched
Jack
both
Black,
of those
Dreads.
like 2 years ago, and then I was like, wait a minute, what would they name the third one? And then
always.
And I didn't realize that there was a third one. And I was like coming up with all these names, like I Still Know What You Did the Summer Before Last Summer, and like all of these things, because it's like, how would you do how would you do
multiple
the third
summers?
Yeah.
Because now we're 3 summers
Yeah.
deep, dude. Like we're
I
3
still know
summers.
you.
Even the
summers
sequel
deep
should
would
have
be a good
been,
one.
I still know what you did several summers ago.
Yeah.
I
Right.
still know what you did.
Yeah, that doesn't
I
make
still
any
know
sense.
what you did 30 years ago.
Right? And then I started Amazon one day, and then there was an ad for the third one,
Yeah.
and I was like, what was it called, or what's it
I'll
called?
always know what you did last summer.
Well,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
because I always know what you did last summer. I was fighting you the
Yeah.
second summer in a row.
Yeah, you were there.
Like, of course, I hope you remember that.
Yeah.
I sure as fuck do.
Just
You remember that part where I hooked your fucking friend?
Is that
Yeah,
moment
so
not,
do
as, not as meaningful for you? What?
Yeah, like what the fuck? We were there.
Yeah.
Did
All right,
you
Josh,
watch the third one?
No.
Oh, but that's where it gets fucking crazy because they're like, I guess we're just gonna inject a bunch of supernatural shit into this
Oh,
one. Because,
okay.
Oh, nice.
yeah,
All right.
I'm
We
down, dude. I'm
yeah,
down.
we-
Yeah,
nothing
I
to
want to
do.
watch it now.
That's why he's always gonna know because he won't fucking die.
because it was
now.
that, and then
It's-
around the same time, Urban Legends had
Yeah.
Urban Legends, and then Urban Legends Final Cut, and then
yeah.
Urban Legends Bloody Mary, and they're like, oh, so it's like a fucking ghost story now. Like, it's just not a slasher. It's now this. Sorry, my ranking you were asking. So I told you I have 2 at the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Followed closely by the original Texas Chainsaw
Okay.
Massacre, and then the beginning,
See,
And then-
doing it right.
See,
Doing it
Josh
right.
knows what's up, dude.
and then the remake, and then Next Generation, and
Nice.
then 3D, and then
Damn.
Netflix, and then Leatherface, and then Leatherface. But starting with, I think
Wait,
3D is the one
wait.
I had more fun than I anticipated and would rewatch just for certain moments in it.
Yeah.
The Netflix one, part 3 Leatherface, and the other Leatherface.
Yeah. Part
It's like a
3.
3-way tie for the bottom for me. Like I'm probably not going to
Yeah.
revisit any of those anytime soon unless I'm asked to for a fucking podcast again.
Please, Josh is like, please don't ask me to revisit these for the fucking
Right, yeah.
podcast. I've done the Creep-O-Rama. You can listen to my thoughts on them there.
But yeah, and then at the top, it's like 2 and 1 are pretty much tied for me because it just depends on the mood I'm in. Do I want to watch
Yeah.
something fucking beautiful and scary and horrifying, or do I want to watch something that's just super fun with chop top and shit? And
Yeah.
depending on what mood I'm in, I'll throw on one of those 2. And then the beginning and the
Yeah.
remake are also pretty close for me. But I just I think it was Arlie's performance in the beginning that
Oh yeah.
tips it over for me because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I didn't realize how much I wanted a movie all about the sheriff. Like,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
going fucking bug nuts. So yeah,
I'm-
I love that one.
Yeah.
So-
Hear that, Derek?
You know, you
I'm just
saying
kidding,
that,
dude.
you
I'm
saying
so-
that. I mean, I know we already talked about it last episode, but I don't know if I mentioned like I'm just so fucking happy that he got to do that movie before he
Yeah.
fucking like passed. So like
Yeah.
that's a fucking testament to his talent, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean that if you watch that and Full Metal Jacket, you're like, that dude's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
yeah.
He's great.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need more.
No,
Yeah.
You got it. Well, you need Saving Silverman.
Yeah.
you need Saving Silverman. That's the trifecta.
Yeah.
That's the trifecta.
You do need that.
Yeah. He could be a dick, he could be a psycho, and he's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And he's all 3 of those things in all of those movies.
Yeah, at the same time. Often.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for this, Justin?
Yeah.
It's just us pitching.
Just
the
like
list
I
to
think
Justin
I
and
already
stuff.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, you might be surprised. First one's next gen.
Leatherface.
Yeah,
Nice.
Leatherface is the first. No, Netflix is the first one. No. Next Generation is my first,
Nice.
and then Texas 2,
Yeah.
and then Beginning. So
Oh, there you go. There you go.
but
There you go,
I will
Derek.
say those 3 are kind of tied. Because I
Yeah.
feel weird saying those and then the original,
Yeah.
but because like it's the original, so like I
Yeah.
hold it in very high regard. But yeah, and then remake just because it's
Yeah. Solid.
and then 3D, and then Leatherface,
Oh damn.
yeah, and then 3 in Netflix.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn. That climbed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
shocking. I'm still not going to watch it.
This is one of those franchises though, where it's because that's how I feel putting 2 and then the original is I'm like, I think I give 2 4.5, and I gave the original 5 stars. So I'm like,
if I'm ranking them by star rating, then the original would go at the top. But that's how I am with the Jason franchise when we were ranking them. And I was like, fuck, I put Jason X way higher than I thought I would. But that's because I love that movie and I rewatch it. I was like, I know it's not better than half the movies in the Friday the 13th franchise cinema-wise, but it is to me. So, and that's,
and
that
it's so
sense.
tough. It's always the next generation and 2 are so... they're a part of who I am. Like that's part of what created my sensibilities. So like I can't put them low. Yeah. But also the original is the original's on such a different level that it transcends this.
Oh,
when you compare it to other movies in this, some of these other ones are technically more watchable than the first one. Yeah. But they're not better than the first one. It's really weird. No. It's a weird franchise. Yeah. That's why whenever people ask, I'm always like, I love the Texas Chainsaw franchise. That's my favorite franchise. Right.
Yeah.
Even though it's fucked.
I think I think that's a really good way of putting it, because like you can envision a situation where a bunch of people, you're hanging out and you put on 3D. I think you're going to have a more fun time in that setting watching 3D than you are going to be watching the original.
Yeah, dude, cracking jokes at shit and fucking and like ignoring half of it, and you know.
Well, when you're in a party setting, like let's all watch a shitty movie.
Right.
Let's not sit down and watch something fucking that's terrifying and awesome.
Although I do miss having big like get-togethers and then putting on really fucked up shit and everybody having to sit there and watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We fucking what was it? It was Irreversible.
Oh my god!
It's a movie. We had friends over, and someone I finally rented. I was like, "You kept telling me how fucking good this movie is," and he was like, "You want to watch it right now?" And I was like, "No, I just you said it was good." And then one of my other friends was like, "Oh, just watch it right now." And, like threw it on, and
did any of them
20 minutes
seen
in.
it?
No, only one of us had seen it, and he was like, "Guys, I assure you, this is not something you want to pop on while we're hanging out." Like just drinking and chatting as friends. And sure enough, like 30 minutes in, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like I should have watched this alone when I could focus and stew in it. But
I've never watched it, but I know what it is. Not gonna ever watch it.
Yeah.
Don't need that.
Oh, we're gonna watch it at some point.
No. Don't need that in my head.
It's a great
it's gonna be a fun
like, it's a coffee table where you're like, fuck, this is a really well-made, brutal movie that I never want to
we should have done Coffee Table and Irreversible as a set, and then we fucking unalive ourselves at the end.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think any of us would make it through a double feature. Like, that's why you gotta stagger them. If we did Irreversible and then Paddington 2 and then Coffee Table, like as a
I think
as a buffer, we would have been okay.
Horrifying. A fucking talking bear? What the fuck?
Yeah. Guy likes
how did he wear that hat?
Sus.
He's a bear, dude.
That bird's gonna push that hat off.
So I went with the original, and then the beginning.
Okay.
And then Next Generation. Then remake. Then part 2. Then 3D. Then Netflix, part 3, and Leatherface.
Okay. All right, somebody cut Justin's stream.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty
Netflix
solid
way too
ranking.
I think you having Netflix that high is shocking to me.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's
some of the comments you made about it earlier.
Part 3 and Leatherface. Hold on. Part 3 and Leatherface are the only ones that are underneath it. It's not that high.
Yeah, that should be underneath those
still,
too.
Based on what you were saying earlier tonight, feels pretty high.
Well, fuck Leatherface. Not
well,
gonna.
Netflix. I think you gave Netflix half star.
What? And then
look, Justin,
Netflix, and then
if you're into necrophilia, definitely fuck Leatherface.
Well, Leatherface is just completely irredeemable. At least I like the gore in Netflix. So that's why I ended up putting that up there.
Right.
Part 3 is just a fucking mess.
Yeah,
part 3. I respect it for what like it is. It's got Vigo, and it was a fun
and
watch
aesthetically,
to talk about.
It's okay aesthetically,
yeah,
but it just doesn't hit right. It's
nobody,
too bright.
No.
It's way too
they
bright.
They didn't know how to go about making that movie, but they completely redeemed themselves in part 4. But the only reason why I put 3D and Netflix over 3 and Leatherface is just because it had really cool gore. That's it.
Yeah.
Leatherface has some of the best gore in the franchise. I'm telling you, it does. It's crazy. It's wild.
I will spend the rest of my life being okay with having never watched that movie.
Bro, Steven Dorff just straight headshots a chick, and it's fucking like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was that?
I'm
It was,
sure.
it's,
I do remember
the
that.
middle, the
I
middle part of
remember
it's
that, yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not a story
It's
that
not
I
a
want
Texas.
on my
It's
TCM.
It's not a
movie.
TCM.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
it's not a
technically,
TCM movie.
technically, I should put it at the bottom, but it's got
Yeah.
like so much fucked up shit in the middle that I'm like, I kind of love it now.
Yeah, it's like another case of those
See-
scripts that it's like, why didn't you just make your own
Right.
standalone movie?
That's the fucking thing. It's a natural born. It's a 50s, way more fucking
Right.
gory natural born killers movie,
Yeah.
couched in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Yeah.
movie, and it's like, just make the fucked up French extreme serial killer couple
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
just
just
make
do
that
that.
movie because
Yeah.
they were compelling, man. I was
Yeah,
really
that's
like,
cool.
they're fucked and they're horrible, horrible people, but like, at least it's interesting. At least
Yeah.
they're like doing some crazy shit. Whereas, like, honestly, like Netflix, it's not nearly as fucked up.
Oh no.
I do wonder how often that happens where like, hey, we have a script. It's not a Texas Chainsaw Massacre script,
Yep.
but we could
Oh,
make
yeah.
it that
It
if
definitely-
you need it.
yeah.
Like,
3
Yeah.
Hellraiser movies.
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it was Hellraiser 5 was written as a Hellraiser movie by Scott Derrickson, but I think 6, 7, and 8 were all
Different movies.
unused scripts that they
Yeah.
they wrote the Cenobites into, and
Yeah.
they're not good movies.
Yeah. Because that probably what happened with Leatherface then. That's what happened with
Probably.
Super Mario 2. Did you know that story?
What? No.
Oh, the
You say
video
Super
game.
Mario All
Yeah,
Star.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
100%.
I did see
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
I was like,
That's
why it's
there's
so
not
different.
a second
Wait,
Super
what?
Mario movie.
I
What
thought
are
you
you
meant
guys
Super
talking
Mario
about?
also, and I'm like, which one? Because the
Yeah.
animated one with Chris Pratt felt like it was very much a Super Mario movie. From
Yeah.
the beginning.
The second, I think it was
Second.
NES, right? The second,
second
NES
game?
Super Mario game.
Yeah, the game.
It's
Yeah.
a completely different game that they just were like. That's why it has
Yeah,
all
last
these
minute.
different
Reskinned
fucking enemies.
last minute. That's right. Yeah,
That's
I
why
saw
it
a
has
TikTok
a
about
ton
it. It was
of
fascinating.
weird fucking enemies that haven't ever really been in any of the other Mario games because
It's completely
it was-
different from the other
yeah.
games. Yeah.
They just
Gotcha.
threw
It was,
Mario into it.
There was a really cool YouTube channel that does these video game documentaries, and it was like a half-hour documentary they did all on Super Mario 2. It was all like,
Gotcha.
it was just Nintendo was like, fuck, like this is a great game, but the first Mario did so well, and we got to put out this in like a month or something like that. Like we got to reprogram it, reskin it, whatever the fuck, make
Wow.
it a Mario game. And they're like, oh shit, okay, and like crunch time.
So
And-
from what I remember, I think that they probably go over this in it, but so when you start Super Mario, it's got the stage, like an actual like play stage, and then the
Right.
curtain goes up, and it's supposed to represent that the whole game is a play or a dream or something.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Really?
It's funny. I'm just, and we're kind of going off the rails here, but I just
Never. I don't know what you're talking about. We never do that in
We've
this
never
podcast.
gone off
this
the rails
franchise.
on this show.
Straight line.
I just started playing. I'd say it's been 2 weeks of playing Mario with my kid, who's 3 years
Nice.
old, and he fucking loves it. It just every day.
Wait, what?
He's like, can we play Mario?
What'd you start with? Like OG stuff?
So I started with Super Mario World on
Nice.
Super Nintendo,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Dude, that's the
probably my favorite
Yeah.
of all time.
That
and then,
has always been like a lot of the ones after that. There's some good stuff after that, but that's the perfect Mario game.
Yeah,
right? Like it's got all the elements. It feels really like smooth and like thought out. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, I
We're
turned-
just talking about Super Mario.
yeah. I turned.
There is a
38
Texas
and
Chainsaw
it-
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
There is
segue
a
to
Texas
that in a
Chainsaw
minute,
game. I got the
yeah.
poster right
Yeah.
there. It's okay.
yeah.
It's weird how like walking around in a desert abandoned house for 45 minutes at a time is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Is
No,
it?
it's
I
not
haven't,
boring?
I haven't played it all yet, but I've heard.
It's like you played Friday the 13th, right?
I did, yeah, and I was also bad at that.
Okay.
That was
so this is
for me. That was
this
just in a violent nature of the video game.
yeah, pretty much.
That movie's basically a video game.
I love that movie though.
So
but
the Texas Chainsaw game is very similar to Friday the 13th, except you can be, I think it's like 3 or 4 people on the family team, and one of them can be Leatherface, but doesn't. One of them had to be Leatherface.
Oh, you're talking about the new one?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is an old game. Too,
yeah, I thought you guys were
even,
talking about that one.
That's really hard. But yeah, and then instead of it being like all of Camp Crystal Lake, it's just their house and the outside, and everything's a maze.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think they added in. I think I saw that they added in some extra content, but I don't know what that content is.
There's some new characters and stuff, because like Barbara Crampton's in it, and then I saw
interesting.
Somebody had tweeted about what a pain in the ass it was because you have to sit there and wait for like 10 to 15 minutes for somebody to finally be Leatherface because nobody wanted to be Leatherface.
Yeah, whenever I first started playing it,
a pain in the ass to maneuver or something.
Okay, so playing Leatherface is the least satisfying thing ever because of the chainsaw. Because exactly what I said with the one-liner, you can't just hit somebody with the chainsaw. In order to attack somebody with it, you have to rev it first. So you can't stealth. And
you can't kill people with a hammer. That's what he.
Nope.
So you can't TCM 3D it.
Only chainsaw.
Yeah, which
that would be annoying.
That's good, but it's not. That doesn't sound like fun.
I feel like you should be able to at least knock them out with a hammer first, and then while they're
be able to
convulsing,
melee 'em with
you
the
take
chainsaw.
Or exactly.
How do you kill them with the chainsaw?
You slash at them while it's on.
Well, I mean that seems fine, but you got to rev it first and then start.
So they have time to run away while you're fucking with the chainsaw. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to start the chainsaw, and then you can then you have to chase after, which also it's Leatherface, so he's not fast.
Right.
So you have to chase after them, and then it's literally just like this.
Right. Now,
and it doesn't aim very well. They can rubber band around you and miss it, and then also, the chainsaw, if you use it too much, it overheats.
That's what I was about to say. Is like once you start the chainsaw, what happens to shut the chainsaw off?
So you can turn it off, or if you rev it, you can rev it to get like bigger hits or some shit. But if you rev it too long, it just cuts out on you.
Fuck off.
So then and then there's a whole waiting period where you have to wait to be able to restart it again. And then on top of that,
saw you in half. Just give me a minute for my chainsaw.
Realistic. If anything, this is just ruining the movies for me. I'm like, how did anyone not get away from Leatherface? 100%. If this is what it takes to kill somebody with a chainsaw, everyone should have survived.
And then the thing that you were saying was, when you would get into the to the waiting room to go into the game or whatever, the lobby, they changed it eventually. But whenever I'd first started playing it, you literally could not start a game without a Leatherface. Oof. Like somebody had to be Leatherface. So I would just take the bullet and do it, and I hated it. But eventually, a couple weeks after that, they finally took that out, so you could just play as all the family members if you wanted to.
See that? That's the same mentality they have with the franchise, I guess. Is there's no Texas Chainsaw without Leatherface? He's the focus. He's the only one we need. But
until you do the one called Leatherface, and he's not even in it.
But that's why I hate those games. Is because I am not a gamer, and I will let everybody down if I am in an online campaign like that, because it'll be me plus 6 people who literally just eat and breathe video games. They're so excited to be playing this. They've been playing it for days, and I'll just be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm so sorry. And I will ruin it. And I'm like, just give me a game where I can play alone against a bunch of bots. And just zone out for 30 minutes and then go to bed. I just
want to chainsaw 50 random people.
Exactly. I don't want to be reliable for any of this other shit. Because I played Apex Legends once for 30 minutes, and the dude in my headphones was losing his mind because I just could not get this shot off. And I'm like, I need you to know that this is my first time ever playing this game. I assure you it will be the last. But, I'm so sorry you got stuck in this one with me.
That's too good.
If I could change it. Yeah. No.
So to bring it back, am I correct in that the beginning is in the top 3 for mine, Josh, and James's?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes, I believe it is.
Cool. I feel feel like I won, Derek.
I feel like
It
three
was
of us
all
are
worth
really
it.
good friends here.
It was all,
Yeah.
yeah, it was all, yeah. I'm happy with that. It'll
It's know
grow
where
on you,
Justin's
dude.
priorities lie.
It'll grow on you, dude.
Yeah.
Watch Leatherface, and then you'll like beginning more.
Right there, you go.
Right.
All right,
Because you know what? Here, I didn't even think about that, but there's technically 2 origin movies in here.
yeah,
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
There's 2 prequels.
and it's like,
Yeah.
why did we have to make the second one? I know that the first one was for the remake universe, but still, like,
Yeah,
Oh yeah. You got
Yeah.
a couple prequels. You got a couple requels.
yeah.
oh my god, you got everything in this one. It really has
really-
everything that you don't
yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Most of it you don't want.
Yeah, most of it you don't
yeah.
want.
It but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's such a downer.
Yeah, I like the end of this was
just us being
real bummed.
because like the last 3 is just kind of like
Yeah.
Did we go over
they're there.
the Rotten Tomatoes yet?
I got them
Oh,
up here.
yeah.
So
I'm
Oh,
seriously
we got,
impressed that we got this much time out of it. I just want to say that. Ahead
yeah. So 3D, we got 19% tomato meter and a 40% audience score.
wow.
That
Leatherface,
seems
you got
fair. We'll see what these, depending on what these next 2 are, though.
Leatherface is 27% tomato meter,
Oh, fuck
23%
off.
audience score.
Get the hell out
Why?
of here.
That's too much.
And then
no, that's
Netflix,
about right. That's honestly about right.
That much better than
Netflix.
3D, though?
Wait, what was 3Ds?
19% tomato meter?
Oh, I didn't hear
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Yeah, 19
no.
to 27.
No, 19.
And
is
then
ridiculous.
and then Netflix, you got 30% tomato meter, 25% audience score.
I don't know if I trust the audience score on
I
Netflix.
gotta go,
Like,
guys.
obviously, we don't like the Netflix one, but that was also one I feel that probably got review bombed by people who didn't
Yeah,
even
for
see the
sure.
movie.
Yeah,
Just because they were
I
like,
think it
well,
got
it's
reverse review bombed, where people were just like, "Oh, this is so good," but none of them actually watched it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
got
just remember a bunch of
25%.
people were like, "Did you watch that dog shit?" And I was like, "I'm gonna watch it. I'll check it out." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Man, everyone told me this was just the worst fucking movie ever made." So I went in with the lowest expectations, and I was like, I had fun with it. I don't know, but the Texas
that's how
Chainsaw franchise isn't as sacred to me as
Yeah.
other ones, which is why, like, because Child's Play is my favorite franchise. So
Gotcha.
when everyone saw the Chucky remake and they were like, I don't know, it's kind of fun. I'm like, fuck you. That was dog shit. You don't make him a robot. It's disrespectful.
Dude,
It was
Bro,
piece of
I turned
shit,
it
but-
off like 15 minutes into it.
No,
I couldn't
see,
do it, dude. It looked
I-
he looked so stupid.
Oh yeah, of course he looks stupid.
I
But
can't
it's-
get past that.
the I will say with that film, which I would like to go back and watch it again, but at least they nailed the sadisticness of Chucky, because there's one scene where he kills the cat, and then he's a robot, so he records the sound of the cat dying. And then he replays it for the kid in the middle of the night while standing in a corner. That's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
That's fucked
What's even more fucked up is ruining an iconic doll and just making it look like the
My whole
dumbest
thing-
shit I've ever
So,
seen.
My whole, I will dial it back and say that I did enjoy the Child's Play remake. It's just not a Chucky movie to me.
No.
I know everyone else
Yeah,
has said
totally
that
agree.
too, where I'm like, the most infuriating part is at the end where they're like, and there's this teddy bear and there's this. And I was like, so you could have made this any of these original fucking dolls
Right.
and it would have been the
Yeah.
same movie.
Right.
And like,
Yeah.
yeah, but you need that IP. And I'm like, Megan did it a year later, like
Right.
2 years
Right.
later, and fucking
Yeah.
killed it
Crushed it.
with an original doll.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's
as
an
long as
original-
the script is good, you're fine.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
say that it's an original idea, obviously, but the
They-
point of view on
They
it,
put
where
a
like
good spin on it.
you could
Yeah.
have an actual actor play her, you could do like you could do
Yeah.
so much more with it. Like it feels like a fresh take on it, at least.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Even if I have a ton of issues with the story, but that's a
Yeah.
different
Yeah. That is
But
what
that
it
was
It's always
that was
writing.
me
My
with-
problem's always writing.
is.
But yeah, so that's the Texas Chainsaw Netflix one. I went in with such low expectations because so many other people hated it, and my I was, like I said, I wasn't as devout to the Texas franchise. I hadn't even seen any of like half of them up until this podcast now. So I went in, I was like, it was fun. There was a massacre on the
Sorry.
but now,
That's-
yes.
Oh,
it
fuck,
is- it
Leatherface is here, run!
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it gets a little bit higher on the rating. It's got Leatherface as a dolphin. Like
There
you
you
can't
go.
really.
Is that going to be a new sound bite that Justin just throws into episodes going forward?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
whenever someone's
Yeah.
either rambling or like we just
Oh shit!
not sure where to go. Yeah.
Should
Okay.
throw that
Alright.
into the
Dolphin
the
Leatherface
intro.
is here to tell you
Yeah.
to shut the fuck
Right.
up.
Should throw that sound into the intro music. Just as the intro music fades out into the episode, just have a fucking
It's
dolphin.
way off in the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Echoing.
Yeah.
That way we always have Leatherface in our intro.
Yeah.
Right.
There it is.
But yeah, I think you're right, Josh. Like going into it with no expectations, I went into it with no expectations, but also like I watched it the day it came out.
Yeah.
And-
I went into it with very low expectations, like Josh is saying, just because
Yeah.
I was gonna watch it when it came out, and everyone's like, dude, I think especially you guys, fucking Justin and James, like it's fucking awful. And it was like, oh, okay, like I just won't watch it.
Yeah,
So,
I went into it expecting to hate it, and I was proven
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's the difference is going
I
in
didn't
opening
wanna
day
hate it. I will
expecting
say-
to hate
Yeah.
it because you're pretty sure it's going to be bad. Whereas
Right.
I went in, tried to go open-minded, but I saw it a week later after
Right.
everyone had told me it was dog shit. So it wasn't that I was expecting it to be bad. It
Yeah.
was that I was like, oh, people I trust and people who
Well,
they
that's-
all said it
yeah.
was
That's
shit.
how
So
I went
that's
into
where
it.
my expectations went.
I didn't watch
Yeah.
it immediately. I waited for reviews because I was like, this is gonna be bad. So let's wait for the reviews.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they all came out, and I was like, it's pretty much what I expected. And somebody was like, I want to talk about it. So I was like, all right, fine. I think it might have been Justin. I was finally like, all right, I gotta see so we could talk about it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. I remember the night that I
At least
watched
it's only
it.
like
It was
84 minutes.
Yeah, it is short.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever
That's
I
part
hit,
of the problem, though, right? Because there's no time for
Right.
it to like build tension.
yeah, exactly. And now we're just going right back.
Just
into
right
it.
back into the
Yeah,
same.
right,
Yeah.
right back into it.
We've talked about it longer than it was
Grumpy.
actually
Yeah.
lasted.
Yeah, well, there's the end of that.
Yep.
Good movies.
Good movies.
Good movies.